From the heart of the Space City to the heart of Gen Z, welcome to Next Gen Conversation. Not Dad's Talk Radio. Ethan talks to you about the issues and events that matter to our generation. This is the Next Gen Report with Ethan Buchanan.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. I hope y'all are having a great day. I'm having a fantastic day. I had a fantastic week. I went to the rodeo. My time at the rodeo this week, I think, was significantly better than Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo's time at the rodeo this week. We'll get into that later on in the show. I'm setting a time specifically aside to talk about that. I know we've got a ton of probably more important things that should be talked about, but I just can't help myself. I've got to make fun of the county judge. I've got to do it. I don't like her. I'm glad she made a fool of herself. I'm happy about it, and I can't wait to talk about it with you later on. But first, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Deus Volt lapel pins. The America 250 lapel pin that they made especially for the celebration of 250 years of the greatest country in the world. I'm wearing it right now. If you're watching and not just listening, you can see it. It'll be finally back in stock on Monday. All right, so that's tomorrow morning. You can go get one. Use promo code NEXTPIN2026. Get 10% off. These pins are awesome. They look awesome. I mean, look at that. The eagle, the helmet, the little call. It's so cool looking. It's such a great conversation piece. It's such a great way to celebrate 250 years of the greatest country in the world. Go get yourself one. $6. You can get 10% off with my promo code. Again, that's NEXTPIN2026, DeusVoltLapelPins.com. Grab a couple while you're there. They've got a bunch of really fun designs. Now, really quick, before we get into the fun stuff, the Lena Hidalgo making a fool of herself stuff, let's do a quick check-in in Iran, because that's still going on. So what have we got going on? Basically, we continue to just run roughshod over them. They haven't really been able to get anything off the ground in terms of defensive action or even a offensive move to kind of scare us away a little bit. They've been throwing rockets at everybody. That's kind of their modus operandi. But it doesn't really do anything. Their rockets kind of suck. Their drones kind of suck. They can just throw a whole horde of garbage at us and hope something sticks. And occasionally it does. At the opening of all this, we did see one rocket get through, tragically killed several American soldiers who died as heroes fighting their country's battles. These people should not be, babied. We shouldn't act like these people are victims. These people aren't victims. They're soldiers who died honorably in war. That's what they signed up for. They were serving their country. All right. We mourn their loss, absolutely, but we also honor them for sacrificing their lives for this country. We don't act like they're babies or victims. They're not victims. They're soldiers who signed up to fight for this country. That's a noble thing. But anyway, before I get off on a tirade about that, I don't like the fact that we treat our soldiers like helpless toddlers in this country. I feel like it denies them the respect they deserve. Obviously, we take care of them. We don't put them needlessly in harm's way, but let's not baby them and coddle them. They're better than that, and we're better than that. But anyway, what has Iran actually been able to do? Because it hasn't been very much in the last 2 weeks. Well, they elected a new supreme leader, and I think, for the record, that he's probably actually already dead. That's my conspiracy theory that I've bought into. Check this out. This is from the New York Post. Iran's impotent supreme leader, I don't know, do they mean that in the traditional sense or the colloquial sense? What are we talking about here? Iran's new impotent supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, this is the son of Ali Khamenei, who was their supreme leader a minute ago. He releases his first statement after reports he's in a coma and had his leg amputated. Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, released his first statement on Thursday, vowing to use the lever of closing the Strait of Hormuz to international energy shipping after reports circulated that he was in a coma and had his leg amputated after being severely injured in the U.S.-Israeli strikes that killed his father and other family members. So, is he severely injured and just in a coma? Maybe. I know this. He's definitely not running the country. If he was running the country, Israel would have already blown him up already. That's their modus operandi. Every time they're either electing a new supreme leader or about to elect a new supreme leader, Israel just blows up whoever the guy in question is before he gets a chance to do anything. Which, I mean, that's one way to go about it, I guess. So they've got that going on. But, I mean, this guy is at best in a coma with his leg amputated. He's definitely not running the country. And even if he is, by some miracle, actually awake and functional, he's definitely not closing the Strait of Hormuz. How do I know that? I know that because we've blown up all of their infrastructure by which to close the Strait of Hormuz. Take a look at this. CENTCOM posted this. Here's video that they have declassified of their airstrikes. There's no sound, so unfortunately you won't really be able to hear it if you're just listening on the radio. But Monday morning, after you get up bright and early and order your Deus Volt lapel pins, you can watch the live video recording of the show right now, and you can see these airstrikes. I mean, this may be weird of me, and maybe it's my, Gen Z growing up playing Call of Duty. I love watching airstrikes. It's just so fun to me. But what CENTCOM said, along with the video of these airstrikes, is last night, U.S. forces executed a large-scale precision strike on Karg Island in Iran. The strike destroyed naval mine storage facilities, missile storage bunkers, and multiple other military sites. U.S. forces successfully struck more than 90 Iranian military targets on Karg Island while preserving oil infrastructure. So that's great. We're not harming the international supply of oil, which is good because that'll help keep our price down. And we're effectively destroying their ability to close the Strait of Hormuz, which, again, will keep the prices down. Here's what's going on in Iran right now. Here's why, essentially, the oil prices have spiked. Huge amounts of Iranian oil and oil from other countries moves through the Strait of Hormuz, and it goes out to the rest of the world. Now, if Iran says we're closing the Strait of Hormuz, that cuts off the global supply of oil. Normally, whatever's going on in the Strait of Hormuz wouldn't really affect us. We have plenty of our own oil. We don't really need theirs that much. But now people who normally would buy oil from Iran, from the Strait of Hormuz, they're now looking to buy it from us, right? So the global supply has decreased. This is a global commodity, and so your prices go up. Now, is that going to be just temporary? Yeah, probably. Don't get super worked up about it. This is the spring travel season. Prices were going to go up a little bit anyway. And this will all be over probably fairly soon because, again, Iran has effectively lost the ability to close the Strait of Hormuz because we blew up all their missiles and mines that they would use to close it. So anyway, that's what's going on. We'll have a little bit more to talk about that, and then we'll talk about how that's affecting us on the home front here in just a minute. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of the Next Gen Report. Alrighty, welcome back to the Next Gen Report. I am your host, Ethan Buchanan. Follow me on X real quick, @_Ethan Buchanan. That's Buchanan. If this is the first time you're hearing me, if you're tuning in now for the first time, you're not usually on the roads at this hour. And I know a lot of people aren't. It's the weekend. That's fine. You can catch the show if you're not usually driving at this time. We podcast it. We put it on YouTube. We put it on X. You can watch it on X, the video podcast. We're recording live the video right now so you can watch the rebroadcast and not feel like you're missing out. Follow me there. That's a great way to stay in touch. All right, we're talking about what's going on in Iran, and we do have, some progress, I guess, on kind of the global front. Basically, Iran's capacity to do anything is severely limited, especially their capacity to block the Strait of Hormuz. However, that doesn't really stop the fear factor necessarily. If you're a shipping company and you've got an oil tanker with, millions of dollars worth of oil, the United States can say, oh, it's safe all day and night, but do you actually want to take that risk? Because what if you're the unlucky sucker who Iran just happens to get off one missile and it just happens to hit your tanker? Now you're out millions of dollars and an oil tanker, and those aren't cheap either. So essentially, I think what this is going to come down to is we're going to continue to turn Iran into a glass parking lot, and then we're just going to have to start using our Navy to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, is that really what I want my Navy doing all the time? No, but I see the benefit to doing it for a little bit, just until people kind of get it through their heads that, okay, yes, this is safe, this is fine, I can carry my ships through. So that appears to, for now, be at least kind of the plan. Here is what President Trump said about it this week. He said, many countries, especially those who are affected by Iran's attempted closure of the Hormuz Strait, will be sending warships in conjunction with the United States of America to keep the strait open and safe. We have already destroyed 100% of Iran's military capabilities, but it's easy for them to send a drone or two, drop a mine, or deliver close-range missiles somewhere along or in this waterway. No matter how badly defeated they are, hopefully China, France, Japan, South Korea, and the UK and others that are affected by this artificial constraint will send ships to the area so that the Hormuz Strait will no longer be a threat by a nation that has been totally decapitated. So I like that idea. I like that idea of, hey, let's kind of lead the way on this. Let's, as the United States, get the ball rolling and then kind of kick that back to other nations and let them kind of take over there, secure the Strait of Hormuz with their own navy. I don't hate that idea. I think that's fun. Now, of course, all of this is affecting us here at home. And then over the week, I'm sure you saw it, we had several terror attacks is what I think these were. One was more of an attempted terror attack than a terror attack itself. But we're going to talk about those now. The first one I want to talk about is this one at the Old Dominion University. And this is just an insane situation, not just because of how the attack played out, but also because of how it ended. So here is the headline from Nick Sorter on X. The shooter at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, is reportedly Mohammed Jola, a former Army National Guardsman arrested in 2016 for providing material support to ISIS. Why is someone convicted of supporting ISIS walking free? So yeah, we now know, this has been confirmed. This guy came into the country, was naturalized after marrying someone, served in our Army National Guard, which is crazy. How did he get into our Army National Guard? And was providing material aid to ISIS after he was naturalized. And we didn't say, oh, clearly you're a terrorist and you lied to us, you're going to be denaturalized and deported. We let him stay here. He served out his prison sentence, and then we just let him back out into the general populace. Why? Why did we do that? Whose idea was that? Who benefited from that? Who thought that was a good idea? And follow-up question, are you disabled? Like mentally, do you need to be studied? Do we need to, start pulling you apart and figuring out what makes you tick? Because how in the hell does anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together, with 2 ounces of sense to mix together in a jar, how in the world do you think that's a good idea? That's insane. Because it leads to what exactly it led to, a terror attack. Naturalized U.S. citizen from Sierra Leone traveled overseas multiple times attempting to join ISIS. Convicted in federal court and released from federal prison in 2024. He should have been in Guantanamo Bay. I'll go one farther. He should have been executed. If you swear allegiance to the United States of America and then betray that oath and provide material aid to a terrorist organization who, among other stated goals, wants to completely destroy the United States, you should be executed for treason. I know that's controversial to say. You're considered a right-wing fanatic if you say that, treasonous traitors who commit treason and betray the country in a treacherous fashion should be executed. But I firmly believe that. That was the modus operandi of every nation for a long time, and it worked pretty well. But now we've gotten into this state where, you can commit actual treason, and we'll just sweep it under the rug. You'll do some jail time, but you can still be a naturalized U.S. citizen. No, execute that man for treason. I don't care how you do it. Pick your favorite method. Traitors should be executed. That is my criminal justice opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what it would take to do to make that happen. But if you're committed, or if you're convicted of committing treason, you should be executed. Now, thankfully, this absolute dirtbag is no longer with us, and that is what I think is really worth pointing out here, because there are some absolute heroes in the Old Dominion University JROTC, because that's who he attacked. He attacked a ROTC classroom which is, I don't know really how to describe ROTC if you don't know what it is. Just go look it up. It's basically like a military adjacent training program for college students. It's directly affiliated with the actual United States military. And he attacked their classroom and he shot 2 people. I'm not sure if they actually died, and I don't have time to go check it now. But I know he shot 2 people. I believe they survived, but I'm not positive. And then everybody else in that classroom just beat the hell out of him until he died. I'm not kidding. That's what happened. Take a listen to the FBI official, or maybe it's not an FBI. I'm not sure who this lady is, but here she is basically saying, yeah, this guy attacked this classroom, and then all the ROTC cadets, I get them confused. JROTC is high school. ROTC is the college level. These ROTC cadets just beat the hell out of this guy until he died. Take a listen.
There were students that were in that room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive. I don't know how else to say it, but they basically were able to terminate the threat.
So he was not shot.
He was not shot.
Rendered him no longer alive. That's one way to put it. That's a very diplomatic way to say it. I applaud you for that. But again, this just goes to show you how screwed up we are in this country. This is the type of people that we're allowing to become citizens, allowing to serve in our army, allowing to commit treason, and then allowing to walk free. Why? I mean, thank God this situation wasn't as bad as it could have been, because it could have been really bad. I mean, this is a room of, I imagine, because it's on a college campus in Virginia, unarmed people. He could have just gone bananas. Thank God they were able to get him and beat the hell out of him until he died before he killed more people. But this could have been terrible. But it is a good reminder. Hey, you need to be armed. If you can carry a gun, carry a gun. If you can't carry a gun, carry a knife. Most everywhere, you can carry at least some form of pocket knife. And that's better than nothing. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. And if you can't carry a knife or a gun, then you better go to the gym and make sure you're a deadly person just by virtue of your physical strength. And I'm saying that as someone who's not particularly threatening physically. I'm a pretty short guy. I mean, I'm nothing to write home about, but that's why I carry a gun. And if I'm not carrying a gun, I'm carrying a knife. Because I know I don't have the biceps to kill somebody with a punch, but I can defend myself for sure, and you need to be able to too. Alrighty, welcome back. Once again, I'm going to ask you to follow me on X at _ Ethan Buchanan, BUCHANAM. All right, so we had that attempted shooting, whatever you want to call it, at Old Dominion University. There was also an attack on, I believe it was like a synagogue or a Jewish school or a synagogue that was functioning as a Jewish school. I don't know the details. This was in Dearborn, Michigan. This was also this week. And I remind you, we've had something along the lines of like 4 of these Islamic attacks in the United States since we started attacking Iran. And this is something that I've talked about multiple times. I talked about it at length on Wednesday. We have imported people who hate us and want to kill us. This country is not safe anymore. The enemy is inside the gates. All right? That's a problem we have to deal with. We have to deal with it soon. It's a big issue. All right? In the short term, here's my advice. Buy a gun. Get a license to carry. Train regularly. Go to the range. Make sure you are confident in your capacity to quickly pull a firearm, get on target, and empty a mag into something. All right? And then know when you need to do that, when you don't need to do that. Probably go invest in some self-defense insurance. All right? There's a ton of great options out there. None of them sponsor me, so I'm not going to give them shout-outs. But you need to start investing in these type of things. This isn't an option anymore. You are in danger all of the time. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to wake you up. It is time to get with it. All right. Now, let's talk about this attack at this synagogue. DHS confirms, according to Bill Malugin for Fox News, that the Michigan synagogue attacker has been ID'd as Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, a Lebanese national who first entered the U.S. in 2011 on an IR-1 immigrant visa as the spouse of a U.S. citizen. He was naturalized into a U.S. citizen in 2016 during the Obama administration. This is no longer a illegal alien problem. I wish it was. I wish we could just say we need to deport all the illegal aliens and the issue would be solved. This is also a legal immigration problem. It's controversial to say that. I know. I know it makes you sound like a radical or an Islamophobe or a racist or all of the other insults that they like to throw at people to stop us from having this conversation. But it's time to have the conversation. This keeps happening. This is the third time in 2 weeks that a naturalized U.S. citizen has either murdered or attempted to murder other U.S. citizens in the name of Allah. Why do we keep doing this, and why are we not allowed to call out the issue for what it is? This is a problem. We cannot keep pretending it is not. Now, thankfully, this guy didn't plan this attack very well. I believe he ended up being the only victim. He crashed his car into the lobby of this synagogue. He ended up setting himself on fire somehow. The car was on fire, and he was eliminated by a security guard. So praise God that more lives weren't lost. But that's a reminder. You're not safe anywhere. Anywhere. Not even at your place of worship. I know it's still kind of taboo to say you need to carry a gun in church, but you do. Unless your church specifically bars that, you should carry a gun at your church. Here in Texas, state law allows it. You can carry a gun in church. Do so. I'm not saying make a big deal out of it. You should conceal carry. Don't be a distraction. You're there to worship God, not show off your big iron. But have that thing on you all the time because you never know when you might need it. And every single house of worship is at risk here. And again, we need to start talking about this. We can't just pretend that this is an only illegal immigration problem. This is a legal immigration problem as well. The Hart-Keller Act of 1965 has been a national security disaster. And we need to acknowledge that. We need to deal with it. I don't care what insults they throw at you or at me or anybody else. Oh, you're racist. Oh, you're Islamophobic. Oh, you're whatever. No, I'm not. I'm a realist. And the reality is this is a problem. You can hate me for saying that. I don't care. We have to address the issue. We do. It is needed. What's also needed is we need an honest media. I mean, this is just insane. I want to just absolutely lambaste CNN right now because their coverage of these several terror attacks has been egregious. And I know it's CNN, and of course they're going to be bad, and they've always been bad, and they always will be bad. But it's been really bad recently. Let me give you an example of just how bad it was. So we've got all these terror attacks going on, and they've got some former FBI guy out talking about, well, here's what we do, here's how we analyze this, here's how we prevent this, la-di-da-di-da. And then this absolute dingus on CNN goes, and of course we also have to consider, the Doge cuts. That's a factor. What are you talking about? No, it's not. Take a listen to this idiot.
It's been, it's been considered for many, many years that we might come to the point of hostilities with Iran. And for that reason, the FBI developed a plan years ago of exactly how they would go about assessing the threat climate across the country relative to if hostilities broke out. Well, we're there. It's time to take that plan off the shelf and start making sure that we're doing some of those things that we thought about doing many years ago, contacting sources, reviving old cases, finding people from cases that are over, people who had served their time, and recontacting them. So this is the sort of activity that we expect and we hope that the Bureau is engaged in right now. I'm sure they are, and we are likely to see more of this.
Yeah, but it's time, of course, with so much chaos, of course, after Doge and other things. Thank you both very much.
So much chaos, of course, with Doge and other things. That is not a contributing factor. And if you think it is a contributing factor, you're an idiot. You don't deserve to be in the public square because you're too brain dead. I can't take you seriously. I mean, who is this lady? Erin Burnett is the name of this woman on CNN right now, or earlier this week, saying, oh, this is Doge cuts. Or, hear me out, and this may be, but hear me out. Maybe it's just the fact that we let a bunch of radical Muslims become citizens of the United States because we're crazy. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the issue isn't, oh, we haven't given them enough handouts. Maybe the issue is we let people who want us to be dead into our country. But if you say that, you're a racist. You're an Islamophobe. How dare you? This is a religion of peace. And listen, I'm sure there's peaceful Muslims out there. And by no means is this an indictment of the entire Muslim community. I am sure there are plenty of them that are willing to go along to get along. They should go along to get along in their countries because this is a Christian nation that was built by Christians, for Christians, on Christian doctrine. You can disagree with me. That just means you're historically illiterate. I don't care. You can be as peacefully Muslim as you want in a peaceful Muslim nation. And I'll be happy to trade with you and have international agreements with you and all that and the other. But the moment we start saying we need to import massive amounts of Muslims into the United States, this is the predictable result. You bomb one Ayatollah, and for the next 2 weeks, it's terror attack after terror attack after terror attack by U.S. citizens. Anyway, not to distract from how bad CNN is, because it's worse than you think. We all remember, because it was 2 weeks ago, the attempted bombing outside of Zohran Mamdani's house in New York. Now, again, just to give you the context, there was a anti-Muslim protest, a bunch of folks saying, hey, we're tired of the United States being turned into a Muslim nation. And then two ISIS adjacent, I guess, U.S. citizens, again, tried to throw some IEDs into that crowd and kill people. Thankfully, those bombs didn't go off. It was a dud. However, here's what CNN had to say about this. We knew the moment it happened that these were Muslims. Within 2 hours, we knew that it was Muslims who were attacking these people because they were not Muslims. And yet CNN goes, oh, this was an attempted bombing of Zohran Mamdani. They were trying to attack Zohran. Take a listen to this. This is insane.
Two Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's Mayor Zohran Mamdani, and the House Speaker Mike Johnson says nothing really to condemn those comments.
Okay, this was not an attempted terror attack on Zohran Mamdani, and you know it. This was an attempted terror attack on people protesting Zohran Mamdani outside his house. But again, that's not as bad as CNN gets on this issue. They get worse. Here's the headline they wrote about this originally. 2 Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York City Saturday morning for what could have been a normal day enjoying the city during abnormally warm weather. But in less than an hour, their lives would drastically change, as the pair would be arrested for throwing homemade bombs during an anti-Muslim protest outside Mayor Zohran Mamdani's home. I mean, they're framing it as like, oh, this just happened to these poor Muslim kids. This is insane. We have got to start calling out how ridiculous this is. I mean, listen, they're going to call you racist no matter what. That's something we have to come to terms with. Now, the question is, are we going to be called racist while we're trying to save lives? Or are we going to be called racist while we're getting blown up by other American citizens? This is insane. All right, we'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. I know there's a lot of probably way more important things that I could be and maybe should be talking about ahead of this, but I only have an hour here with you every weekend, and I want to talk about this because I think it's fun. Let's start with a little bit of background. And if you're one of my listeners in Dallas or San Antonio, you probably understand this, but in case you don't, I need to impress upon you how big of a deal the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is just in general, and then especially here in Houston. And it's kind of a big deal all across Texas. I mean, we have people all over the world who come and compete in this rodeo. It's the biggest rodeo in the world. It's not particularly close. It is a huge deal for us. Is it the biggest deal in the city? Maybe, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, we completely shut down the city in March for this. And I mean that literally. I live right next to one of the streets where the rodeo parade marches through. And the trail riders march through at the beginning of March, heading to NRG Stadium for the rodeo. I mean, this is a big deal for this city and for the state of Texas as a whole. I know that. Not to diminish the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo or the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Those are great events as well. I'm sure ours is better. Cry about it. We're a better city. I know that's not popular to say while I'm on the air in one of these towns, but I truly believe that. H-Town is number one. And our rodeo is number one, and that's just by the numbers. By attendance, by money raised. It's just the best. And it means a lot to the people of this city. 30,000 or more, probably more, people every year volunteer to participate in this, to put this show on. There's something like 100 and some change committees that organize and run this rodeo. Hundreds of thousands of volunteer community hours are put into this. It's a big deal for us. It is a big cultural moment for this city every year. And a lot of work gets put into it. So when somebody like the county judge goes and makes it all about herself, that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. So let me give you the situation as I understand it. Essentially, Lena Hidalgo, the county judge, has taken advantage of her position as county judge to attend a whole bunch of rodeo shows for free. Now, she's given a suite. There is a suite that they dedicate for elected officials where they can go and see as many shows as they want for free. And it's up in the suite area of the stadium. If you've ever been to a football stadium or seen one on TV, you know what I'm talking about. All right. You've got the main bowl of the stadium, and then you've got the suites above it. All right. And those are nice places. They're catered. They've got free drinks, free food, and you can watch the show and you got a great view of it. And it's awesome. People pay tens of thousands of dollars for those seats during the NFL season. And the county judge gets to watch the rodeo from there for free. That wasn't enough for her. She wanted to be down on the dirt. All right. That's where you can go. They call it the shoot seats. You're right next to where the riders jump out to go, compete. That's where you can then walk onto the field and watch the concert real up close from the dirt during the concert. Those tickets are very expensive. They're about $425 a pop for pretty much every single show. She wanted those for free. She already got really good, really nice, really fancy free sheets. But she wanted those seats, which are $400 a pop, for free. And she got a whole bunch of them. But one night she didn't, and she made a stink about it. So here's the statement she put out when she didn't get her free rodeo seats. Dear Chairman and Mr. Bowman, Chairman Phillips and Mr. Bowman. That's the chairman of the rodeo committee and then the CEO. Last night, I tried to bring a fellow elected official, her 2 children, and the parents of a recently deceased U.S. Air Force sergeant to the Houston rodeo performance. They are also the parents of an active duty military service member. When I tried to walk onto the shoot ticket area, the dirt, as I have always done, including earlier this week, rodeo committee members told me we weren't able to enter because I didn't have a wristband. I have always been allowed on the dirt based on the county's relationship with the rodeo, regardless of wristband. Nobody has ever told me I needed a special pass to access the dirt. I don't remember I or my guests ever wearing one, and pictures show that. Nobody ever told me these seats were $425. All right, so that just goes to tell you how in her own world this lady is. Because I looked at those tickets when I was planning which rodeo shows I wanted to go to this season. And I thought, you know what? $425 is just not happening. I'll just take the seats that I can get for way cheaper because I am not paying $400 to go to the rodeo. As much as I love the rodeo and as much as I would love to be out on the dirt for the concert, I'm not paying that money. I don't have that kind of money to throw around. I just don't. This lady didn't even know that that's what that costed. So people love to talk about, elected officials don't know the price of groceries. This is the equivalent of that here in Houston. I assumed that area was for friends of rodeo leaders or for rodeo leaders or such. That's how out of the box she is. She thought just people could show up there. And again, it's not hard to see that these are expensive tickets. They've got signs everywhere, even in the stadium. When I tried to ask that my guests be let in, the rodeo committee members first said that the kids could stand in the back, but then proceeded to block the kids and mom from entering, grabbed me, shoved me, and threatened to arrest me, even after I offered to leave if that meant that my guests and her kids were allowed to stay and finish watching the concert. So basically, to make a long story short, at the end of the day, she got kicked out of the rodeo because she made a stink about she wasn't allowed there. And she made a big deal about, oh, it's because I'm a woman and because I'm Hispanic. I wonder if I had been a male county executive, would they have reacted the same way? Would they have thrown a male Harris County executive guest with their young daughter and son out of the Harris County Stadium? So she now tries to make a big deal out of, oh, Harris County owns NRG. Yeah, but you lease it to the rodeo. So you don't have some divine right to be in the stadium just because you're the county judge. And it's ridiculous that you would make that case. She tried to later on use the, oh, I'm the landlord of the county. And that's her excuse. Whatever, lady. I think what's even crazier is not just that she did it, but she still to this day thinks she's in the right. She posted this recording of the argument she had with the rodeo staff as they were escorting her out of the building, and she thinks this vindicates her. Take a listen to this. It's insane.
I'm missing the show with my wife to deal with this. So let me be real clear. You didn't have a ticket tonight. And what I got a message today from some security person that said you're coming the next 5 nights with up to 5 people.
Well, no, I'm not coming anymore.
Are you going to let me finish now? Can I finish or not?
You heard they manhandled me, so are you saying that's okay?
I don't have any proof of that.
Oh, I'm gonna get you some proof. Let me ask some of the people what they saw. No. Why are you gonna grab me again? I'm asking them what they saw. Are you gonna grab? Look at this. Look at this.
Being manhandled.
He just said I could go get proof. You're not letting me get proof of the fact that they pushed me.
We are going to call this now. You're going to leave.
You're going to leave. He wants proof that you pushed me.
And nobody pushed you.
Yes, you did. And so if you want, you're not letting me go get the proof.
So let me
Are you letting me walk to get the proof?
Can
Yes
you pause
or no?
and let me say something?
Yes or no?
Can you pause and let me say something?
Yeah.
The only person here that's got accelerated energy right now and pointing fingers at people and acting disrespectful is you.
That's
You're
fine.
the only one.
Okay. I'm gonna.
So
you know
everyone
what?
else is
I'm
being
gonna
mature
whisper.
about it.
Your people.
So this lady is clearly deranged, and we know she's got a long history of mental health. I mean, she's just bonkers. That's all it is. Now, I had talked earlier in the year about how she got divorced and she only made it a year. And I kind of raised some questions as to why that is. Why did her marriage only last a year to this guy that she was with 10 years prior? And I think that answers the question. I mean, this lady's crazy. She's impossible to deal with. Long story short, the rodeo put out a statement and basically just said, yeah, she's full of crap. She's had $9,000 worth of these shoot tickets given to her this season. $9,000. And she was planning on going back for more. And this one night, they all sold out. We didn't have any to give her, and she made us think about it. And so we took away all her special status that she gets for being an elected official. And elected officials do get special status at the rodeo. Like I said, they've got that suite. They've got ex officio director title that they're given, which is basically a ceremonial title. It means nothing. It grants her no actual authority or status at the rodeo. It's just something they give to elected officials to be nice and let them in that director's suite. But that's been revoked. This lady's crazy. And how dare you go after the rodeo? I wish I had more time to talk about this, but unfortunately, that's all I've got. Tune back in Wednesday. We'll be back with more of the Next Gen Report. I am Ethan Buchanan. Thank you very much for listening.